let's get started. Not happy about this, but has to be done. Gotta put this shit back together. All right, we're making some progress here. So I put all the pulleys on, just got one more to put on. Put the grip tech pulley on the supercharger itself, and I mounted the supercharger to the bracket. So now let's pack up all this stuff and head outside and start working on the car. All right, let's set this thing up. I'm gonna back it up on these 4 planks. That way the car is a little elevated, and if I need to jack it up, I can. Because once I start taking it apart, it ain't starting back up until it's done. All right, let's get to it. I'm not even looking forward to this. This is the not fun part, you know, taking off the bumper, all that, but whatever, gotta get done. All right, I got the intake out and I'm draining the antifreeze right now because the radiator is coming out. All right, let's see. All right, I'm definitely not strong enough to do this with one hand, so this phone is getting put down. All right, so the new crank pulley is on. The old one's over there. So you can see this one has the extra pulley for the belt for the supercharger. All right, so I had to stop real quick and go to Harbor Freight. Needed a torque wrench that went up high enough to tighten that crank pulley bolt, and I decided to buy a light while I was in there too, just because you never know. All right, so let me head back home and get back to work. Okay, so now I'm putting on the brackets that hold the big main bracket that has a supercharger on it. So there's about 5 of them. So one right there, that one, the VTEC solenoid goes, this goes in between the VTEC solenoid and the head. There's one right here, I just put that on, goes behind this pulley, and then there's 3 more on the ground that I gotta put on. So after I put those on, it's gonna start looking like, you know, making real progress, because the big bracket's gonna go on with the supercharger, but still got plenty more to go. All right, more progress, got some brackets installed, and I'm getting ready to get this mounted up. This is gonna be a little hard because I'm by myself and it's kind of heavy, but I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, so that's kind of heavy and I don't want to scratch it up. Yeah, I could do it by myself, but I don't want to scratch it up. So I'm gonna wait till one of my friends is here to help me. So in the meanwhile, I'm gonna do the fuel system now. So I'm gonna put the new fuel rail, the fuel pressure regulator, new injectors, all that stuff. It's all right here. All right, so I'm not gonna finish with the fuel rail right now because I need to put the fuel pump in first. Run the lines from the fuel pump to the surge tank, then run the lines from the surge tank up front that go to the fuel rail and the E85 sensor. Actually, that's over here. So I have this split flow valve that the line, well, one of the lines is gonna run to. So I need to do that first. And to do that, we gotta start back here with the fuel pump. And look at what I found back here, a little nest. So I'm gonna clean that out, get that fuel pump out, then run the lines underneath down to the surge tank. And then from the surge tank, the lines will go up front to the fuel rail and the fuel pressure regulator and all that. Then I can install the fuel rail and everything. All right, so old fuel pump is out. I just put the new one in, I didn't tighten it. Now I'm about to go under here, remove the evap system and remove the old fuel lines to make way for the new steel braided ones. Those are the steel braided ones that go in the back. On top of the fuel pump, they got these nice fittings that lock right on. So let me go up under here, it's really hot. All right, so I'm under here removing the evap system, right? I finally got it down. Like, when I tell you like this shit's a pain, see, I got my hair all wrapped up because so much rust is falling. Like, just listen. Hear all that shit falling? Like, any movement, shit just falls, rust. Bruh. Oh man, gotta love high mileage New England cars. Get a face full of rust, you don't need to take no iron pills up here. Okay, so there's the evap system, that's out. It was a pain, but it's out. So now I can pull some of those lines. Well, actually I can pull the fuel lines that are running from the fuel tank up top, like those right there, the 2 fuel lines right there. Those are coming down. What the heck was it? Those are coming down, and the steel braided ones are going up there. And then I can start figuring out the length of the return line I'm gonna need from the fuel rail and all that. Like I explained earlier, that's why I didn't put the fuel rail on yet. The old fuel lines are out. So now I'm gonna start putting the new fuel lines in. Starting back here, they're all steel braided and AN fittings. Fuel rail is all assembled, everything's sealed up, and ready to install. Alright, so I just cleaned out where the injectors go, so now I gotta put these adapter cups in there, and then I gotta change these over on the injector itself so it can fit in the fuel rail. Got one more injector. That's there. Now I can put the fuel rail on. Alright, so I got 2 lines made now. So now I need to make the lines from the bottom of the reservoir to the filter, then from the filter back to the supercharger. So the filter is gonna go right there. Luckily I had multiple of these super long bolts, so it goes straight through. I'm gonna put the bolts on, and then the filter will sit right there, zip tied to this, just like that. Got this block off plate right here, and it's gonna go over that spot right there. That's where the air injection valve was, so I'm gonna block that off because it got deleted along with all the other emission stuff. But yeah, we're making progress. Everything's all tightened up, all the clamps symmetrical, have to be. If they're not, it looks tacky and it would bother me. Why did that rhyme? Anyways, intercooler mounted real good. That's not moving, that thing's solid. Not much I can grab to move it, but it ain't moving. Solid. It's raining and it's hot. I'm about to go inside and take a shower. I'm done for the day. Okay, so what we got going on today is I'm putting the radiator in. I'm not putting any fluids in, but I'm just putting the radiator in, hooking it up to the hoses. I cleaned up the intercooler piping a little bit with some polish. I think that's all I want to do today. So you can see how thick this radiator is compared to the old one right there. You know, so the cooling is going to be significantly better. And then, you know, got the fans back there. Now that's much better. So that's looking real good. So engine bay is pretty much done. Like, not much more to do in here. Relocate the horn, put the intake on. So I'm gonna go over to the ECU. So the ECU is under here. I'm gonna put this one in. Let me show you guys where it is. It's up under here. There's the computer. So I'm gonna remove that and put this new one in. So here's the old ECU and this is the new Link ECU. So we're gonna swap these over. It's pretty straightforward. There's 6 bolts on the back, and then you loosen these 2 and then you swap them over. So let's get that done. Okay, here's an update from the last video. Did some more stuff. This car is like 90% done. So added a catch can, silver one right there, ran into the PCV. Got a breather on the other side. Ran the flex fuel sensor, wired that all up. You can see that down there. That's it right there. So that's that. What else? Boost gauge. I added a boost gauge. Let me show you. I had to go get the keys. I'm always mixing up my RSX key with the s2000 key. 2 very different keys. It's just a key fob, it's similar shape. But yep, boost gauge right there. I'm gonna turn it on in a second, show you. Well, not turn on the car, but just turn the ignition on so you can see. So there it is, boost gauge. Changes colors, all that. Oh yeah, and the other thing I'm waiting on, 4 bolts to hold this cover down. Alright, so the kit is here from Seamless, and I have no idea how to install this, so yeah, give me a second, but this is getting installed today. Alright, before I get too far, because I already started, let me explain this relay and switching all this stuff that I was waiting on. So pretty much the kit, it makes a really good power source for the surge pump. The surge pump uses a lot of power. It will burn up them. It'll burn up small wires. So you need this wiring done properly. It's a bigger fuel pump back there, all that fancy stuff. So this kit that I got from Seamless is very well put together. You can see like this is a serious relay. You know, it has a switch right here. You know, if anything, you know, goes bad, it'll reset itself, and you know, it's a breaker. So good kit, solid wires. You see how thick this wire is? This is the power wire, and then there's another wire right here that runs all the way to the back. Yeah, good kit. So right now I'm starting installing it. So the power wire goes to the alternator, because you know that's where the power goes from the battery. Then from there, the wire that I just ran a wire all the way to the back of the car. It went through the firewall. Where is it? Right here. So that's gonna go to the other side of this, and then from there, this is gonna go into the back of the car, where the power and ground will go to it. And then from there, I'll run wires to the surge tank and all that. You'll see when I get there. All right, I'm making some progress. My back hurts because it's a little space and I gotta be leaning in there. So I take breaks every second. Okay, I'm finished. All right, so I turned the key and I didn't hear anything turn on, not even the factory fuel pump. So got my computer out and we're gonna connect. And I feel like it's because there's no map on this computer, like, at all. So let's see. Okay, so I think I figured out what the issue is thanks to my boy Dre. He pointed this out. And the pins are different on the USDM and JDM models. So I feel like this is set up for the JDM model because it can come anyway. It has a jumper in there, and you know, I'll show you guys when I pull it apart, but pretty much I just got to switch that jumper to the USDM side and I should be good to go. And check it out. Let me see if the camera will pick it up. Zoom in, see if it'll focus. But yes, that was the exact problem. It's on the JDM side and not the USDM side. So once I swap that over, I should be good. All right, now that my fuel pump issue is fixed, I'm about to prime the system because I'm about to do the first startup. But I don't need coolant in there, but I do need fluid in the Rotrex. This stuff smells kind of good, I'm not gonna lie. What's it smell? It smells kind of fruity, like, I don't know, like some kind of fruit. Either way, this shit's expensive. It's like $150 a bottle or something like that. It's up there. Don't quote me on that, but it's up there. So yeah, I'm about to prime the system and then hopefully do the first startup. All right, added some coolant, first startup. Let's see. I'm here about to turn the key, like this should not push to start.
Yep, he's running.
All right, so I probably have to mess with the fuel pressure and stuff like that. All right, after a struggle of getting this car to get on the... Why did the iPhone camera do this? After a struggle getting this car up on this ramp, headed to the dyno, finally to get tuned. Jamie had this remote tuning so we could get a map that way we could start it and drive it up. But, that was a little pain, but got it done. You know, it's kind of hard with not being able to, you know, drive it straight up on there easily because I had to be feathering the gas constantly. It's not a full tune, but yeah. Once we're done, headed to the dyno. Alright, we loaded up, made a little pit stop, got some food real quick. Now we headed to the dyno. I get to drive this beast. This thing's mean. Looks nice with the S2000 back there. Alright, so this is the first time the car has been able to add anything.
So cover the whole thing.
Already primed
Pour it here and let us
Jamie's
cover this.
cutting up some stuff while we do all this. And then we're gonna go hit the dyno.
So right now, Eric.
Alright, just strap down. quick walk to the corner store real quick. I'm thirsty while they restrap the car down. Wrapping it up right now. I have a boost leak somewhere, so I have to address that. So that's what it made at 14 pounds, not even 14, I think it's 11 pounds or 13 pounds, one of those.